Hey guys, it's Kafulfa here. So in this video I'm going to be talking about a game called Tera. Now this is a game that has really caught my attention since I noticed it about a couple of days ago. It uses this new combat system I've never seen in an MMORPG, and it really makes it really fun and really engaging on a level that I've never experienced before. This is definitely the best combat system I've ever played with on an MMORPG. Forget about World of Warcraft, forget about Rift, forget about even Guild Wars 2, which is coming out very soon. None of their combat systems are as fun as this one. So what this game does, once again it's called Tera, what this game tries to do is it tries to connect MMORPGs and its like action bar kind of system with FPS. First person shooter games, and instead what you have is, in a normal MMORPG, what you have is you have to select a primary target, and then you cast a spell like, I don't know, Firebolt, and that Firebolt is like a homing missile. It will hit its target wherever it is. It will seemingly make contact with that target wherever it is. But then it's down to the game mechanics to decide whether that was dodged, or whether the damage was lowered for some reason, and that's all down to game mechanics. That's not something that you can control directly. It's something that you control indirectly by having a high dodge bonus on your gear or something like that. So that's how current games work. Now with this game, you have a crossfire, and you have to have your enemy within that crossfire to hit him. But not only that, but even once you've cast that spell and the opponent was in your crossfire, if that opponent moves out of those crossfires while that attack is still on its way to the opponent, then it could completely miss. So in other words, the damage is not calculated on that attack until that attack hits its opponent, until it makes contact with the opponent, and that's something that you don't see in normal MMORPGs. Usually the attack damage of the attack that you use is calculated instantly as you cast it, so before that attack hits the opponent. And I mean, if you are a RuneScape player and that's why you'll be subscribed to me, then that's how glaciers work. Glaciers attack you, but the attack doesn't actually, the damage isn't calculated until that attack reaches you, and that's how it works in Tera right now. So once again, you have the crossfires. You cast the attack. The enemy could be in your crossfires when you cast the attack, but unless that enemy is still within the crossfires, or within that, within the range. The spell. Oh, where is it? What am I thinking about? I don't know. There you go. The spell path. Unless that opponent is still, on the path of where that spell is going, then that damage won't be calculated until that spell makes contact with the NPC. And so with that being the case, not only can your opponents dodge your attacks, but obviously you can dodge their attacks. If they're using a magic attack against you, that magic attack will move in a straight line. It's not a homing missile, it will move in a straight line, and you can dodge that attack. And obviously being a good distance away from your opponent will increase your chances of being able to move out the way in time. And now, in order to dodge, there are multiple ways of doing it. There are certain abilities. On my character right now, I only have the one ability, and that's called Backstep. So it only really works for meleeers. So if a meleeer tries to attack me, he'll charge me down, and I'll be able to use Backstep to create a distance between me and him and give me a few extra attacks before I have to engage him properly. And but then also you have other ways of dodging. The most obvious way is just simply moving. And yeah, so if an enemy is charging you, if you can calculate the correct time to actually move, then you can dodge their attack. And with this game, what happens is, if you dodge too early, so if you move to the left too early, your enemy will follow you, and the enemy will continue to follow you wherever you move, unless it's charging its own attack. So once the enemy has charged you and has reached that melee distance to start using its attack, if it then starts to swing its sword, that's when you would move, because that sword, wherever it's going to hit, is always going to stay on trajectory. It will never, it won't move according to where you move. It will continue to hit in a straight line or in a radius wherever it would normally hit once that sword has started to swing. And that's when you counter, because that's when that area is where the attack is going to do damage. So I need to move into an area that I won't be able to incur damage, and that's what I do quite often in this video. I have a centaur or Sabertooth, I think, come and charge me. I work out when exactly it's going to, when it stops moving and it starts preparing its attack, and that's when I move. And usually I move to the side of it and I counter-attack it. So not only can my enemy not attack me because it's already started its attack and its attack is already going to be in one direction, but also I've moved to the side and now I can safely pull out a counter-attack. And yeah, it's that combat system that I'm really enjoying, that dodge system, where it's not just about game mechanics, it's not just about gear, but it's about your own skill, it's about your own movement, it's about getting the timing right and things like that, and looking at the animation of the NPC that you're fighting and working out, what it's going to do. And again, it's exactly the same as Glaciers. Not only are Glacier's attacks actually calculated once they hit you, but also you can look at what armor Glacier uses to know what